So I've just had a phone call from head of integration who was talking about how to get the integration more aligned or more involved with the strategy department and how they interact with the M&A and corporate development department. And so I've done another video around the M&A process as we think about it, pre-deal strategy, going into the M&A department, thinking about what we're going to buy and having long list, short lists, thinking about the valuation and the integration and how people need to interact across the process. And so thinking about moving upstream and downstream within the organization to get the M&A people talking and M&A working better. So that prompted me to think about various different departments within the company and just thinking about how the center interacts with the local areas, so countries. So this might be the center interacting with divisions or countries or various different products or product ranges. And as we get to larger companies, this becomes more important as we think about larger deals. So I'd just like to discuss that the concept that the center will think differently about M&A and will think differently to the regions or the countries. I'll just use countries as a nice easy example to talk about. The countries will think differently. So the country is thinking about its own country, its own business, whereas the center is thinking about all the countries and all the businesses. And so the center is also thinking about future deals and future organic and inorganic growth, the deals and how the business is growing itself. Whereas the country will be thinking about its own organic growth and may not know about all the deals coming down the pipeline or the long-term strategy for the overall company. It may be thinking about smaller deals that it can do in the country. And so just starting to think about those differences in communication, thinking about best practice, thinking about the unforeseen costs of an integration which may pop up. And quite regularly, the center, I hold extra money, knowing that there will be problems that we haven't thought about or seen. And whilst I'm project managing all of the divisions, countries, business units very strictly, I know that there will be problems or potentially opportunities. Every now and again, someone says, well, I believe we could do better. We could sell more. I just don't have the money to do this extra project we've thought of. And so enabling those extra synergies to happen. Thinking about a set of consistent processes that we can share across the different divisions and business units. So we can invent those in a particular country and spread them out. So learning from one deal and spreading across, or we can invent those at the center and push them out. But certainly learning from deals is an important thing. And most companies, I would say, don't learn from their deals. People don't want to share their mistakes, things that they've done wrong. They don't want them to be spread across the whole company. And so this can be very difficult. That's one of the reasons why I go in and train companies on integration, because they just can't do it themselves, which seems odd, but it's very, very normal. We've obviously got reporting around synergies and KPIs on how the integration is going. Does this need to be standardized? So in country, we might standardize it, and then it might be different across countries. Is that helpful? Well, not particularly. Would this be very easy to standardize across our whole company? If we were starting from scratch with a blank bit of paper, probably yes. Many companies already have things in place, and so there's a bit of internal political discussion to get this standardization, but we can get there. If I think about the resources for an integration or a deal, we may well have resources in other countries, other areas that we can pull in. And so this is about understanding at the center what integration and resource and M&A resource we have across our whole company and sharing that in country locally so that people have the ability to pull in knowledge. This might be setting up an internal network where people in Germany can phone up people in France who've done similar type of deal. So thinking about the experience we've got internally and sharing that, whether that be training or networks or a knowledge base on a shared drive or an intranet, just pulling that all together. And obviously I've done projects where I've helped companies pull their internal knowledge together and add to that with my knowledge. We've got PMO approaches, so integration management office, and I've done another video on that. We can discuss how to standardize this and make this easier and cheaper to run them because we know what we're doing and we've got a standard approach. And we might obviously, again, I was talking to this head of integration when we're talking about deals coming down the pipeline. He said in his company, we don't know what deals are coming down the pipeline. Well, there still is a discussion around preparing for future deals, future integrations, and thinking about where in the world, which countries, which jurisdictions, which regions are we going to be buying, which divisions, and can we plan for that, and what skill sets would be useful in integration. And I've done another video on that, moving from high-level strategic thinking and knowledge and training down to basic project management. And we can get ready for future deals without telling anybody we're doing them. And we could do that at zero cost by putting that into our normal HR learning and development process and just thinking about what training would be useful and needed and plan that in over the next couple of years. And so we then have better knowledge and resource ready for future integrations. And we might discuss deadlines, sharing and identifying deadlines, or identifying and understanding deadlines that within the integration, within countries can be shared. If we've planned a certain project that might be going on across other countries, the same project, copied and pasted across. And so understanding, firstly, what are those deadlines, what's appropriate, and how can we do that faster in the next country. And so in IT, they think about this and do this. In other parts of the integration, people quite regularly don't prepare for this, don't do this as well. And then obviously discussing clear expectations around process and projects and way of doing things. And these can be very, very different at the center compared with the country. And so aligning expectation across the company is very helpful and going to be very useful for our integrations. My name's Danny Davis. I help plan and run the European side of a $6 billion deal, 30 work streams in 30 countries. I wrote the book M&A Integration, How to Do It. You can see it here and find it on Amazon. I've been a guest speaker at London Business School for more than 2 decades on the topic of M&A integration. I consult, I coach, I teach, I train M&A integration, both pre-deal and post-deal. Here's my email address and my phone number. Send me an email. I look forward to talking to you.